Hello fans, welcome to the MBB Mason Coaches Report with head coach Cassara. I'm Brian Bull, joined by Coach Cassara, the head coach of the men's basketball team. How are you, Coach?
Hey Brian, how are you this morning?
Doing great. So let's recap the last game, a close loss to JMU. Just what do you think were some of the turning points in that game?
Well, great effort by our guys on a lot of levels. I thought we did a lot of terrific things on the court. Great crowd, great atmosphere, great early lead game in the CAA. Unfortunately, we weren't able to finish the game off, and that's something that we're still trying to figure out how to win games at the end.
Obviously, losing's never, fun. It's always frustrating. But what are some of the positives that you can take out of that game?
Yeah, I think there were a lot of positives. I think our defense was great. We held them to 62 points. Normally that would win us the game. We just weren't able to finish some plays and make some plays down the stretch. Something that we're going to continue to work on. I think we're still a little bit of a work in progress that way, figuring out how to win games at the end, who should be making the big shots or the big plays. And we just had a couple breakdowns defensively. Ultimately, lost to a very talented James Madison team, but it's going to help us moving forward.
And another good game from Mike Moore, especially in the first half when he had 20 points. Just talk about his improvements this year from last year and just how much he's meant to the offense overall.
Yeah, Mike offensively has been terrific, and he's really starting to play much better defensively. And I think the other thing that stands out is his rebounding numbers. He's really statistically playing very, very well. Big challenge for Mike is he's in a new role. He's looked for leadership on the court, in the locker room, in the huddle, and that's a new role for him. And he's embraced it, but he's still working on that as well. So I think we're still a bit of a work in progress that way.
And as he's embracing that role, you saw in the second half, maybe his point production wasn't the same, but as the defense was keen on him, that allowed more players to get involved for you offensively. So I guess is that a good sign?
Yeah, Mike's really developed. I'm really proud of him. I'm proud of his efforts on so many levels. I mean, probably our best win of the season was playing Cleveland State, who's a borderline top 25 team, and he had 5 points, but was willing to share the ball, pass the ball, rebound, do the things he had to do to win. And that's a credit to Mike's overall development.
Some other players stepped up. McMillan had 4 assists in his first start of the season, just stepping into a new role. What did you think of his effort overall?
Yeah, DeJuan did some terrific things for us as well. Obviously we're a little short. Our bench is a little short right now. We've got some injuries, and DeJuan had to play a lot of minutes, and he did a lot of good things. And I think he's going to continue to help us down the stretch. Gives us a real senior leadership and a lot of speed on the court. So proud of his efforts as well. Again, the wins will come, I know, as we keep doing some of the things that we're doing.
And coming up tomorrow, you have a tough non-conference game against Wagner, and you go to Staten Island to play them. What are some of the challenges that they present?
Coach Hurley's done a terrific job over there at Wagner. We had a great game with them here last year. They've gotten better in a hurry. They've got some very good players. They shoot the ball very well. They're very hard-nosed, tough-minded team. They had a great big win against St. Francis the other day, and they're playing very, very well right now. So we're going to go into a very tough environment against a very good team over at Wagner and try to get back in the win column.
And after traveling so much through the first 2-3 weeks of the season, Wagner represents the only road game of the month of December, and you only have to go into New York City to play it. So that must be nice, just to get a break. No plane rides, no cross-country rides.
Yeah, I think it really is, Brian. I think we had a very challenging schedule in November. Going to Oregon State, going to Rhode Island, 3 games in 3 days. The Oregon trip really took us almost 5 days. So you have to travel with us. So it's very challenging, and I think we had a lot of close games that we certainly could have won. December, the schedule certainly on paper is much more favorable for us. So we're looking forward to being home here.
How do you like your team's defensive identity? JMU came in, they were one of the best three-point shooting teams in the entire country, especially in the Colonial. And you held them to less than 30% shooting on threes, and that's been a season-long trend. I guess how happy are you with the team's progress on the defensive side?
I'm pleased. I don't think we're quite where I'd like to be, but we're keeping ourselves in games, and now we just have to become a little more efficient on the offensive end. Once we do that, I think we're going to, like I said, get a few more W's in the win column.
Do you see this team's conditioning as a strength because you've been going with a short bench throughout the season, and now even with a couple of injuries, you're really dependent on those same 6-7 players to really step up, and they've blocked a lot of minutes for you. So I guess how important is that conditioning for that workload?
Great question. I think the conditioning is good, and I think also the experience. We do have some guys who also haven't played together a lot, so I think those minutes and all that time playing together is eventually going to really benefit us down the road.
Somebody who stepped up a little bit last year and he's getting a lot of minutes this year is David Imes, and a couple of really good rebounding games. I think 3 times this season he's already led the team in rebounding. Just how have you seen his game progress throughout the year?
Dave's become a real constant part of what we do offensively and defensively. He's been great in practice. Certainly statistically, we're looking for him to continue to get better, but I'm real proud of what he does on the court, off the court. His energy, his effort, his attitude has been terrific, and he's going to have a great year and a half here for us, finishing up his career.
And Musa Kone has started every game this season. Last game he had 4 blocks, tied his career high with 6 points, really started to assert himself more, and that just must be a really good sign for your front court.
I think it is. Again, I think the benefits of Musa playing all those minutes is going to come down the road, and he's a freshman, a true freshman who's played a lot of minutes, got a lot of experience as a young guy, and he's continued to do some real good things for us.
Sure, and Jemiah McMillan continues to be a real good contributor off the bench. Just talk about his impact.
Yeah, Maya has been a big piece of what we're doing, and he continues to make some big plays for us down the stretch. Great free throw shooter. We actually need to get him a few more shots. I think his offensive abilities are going to help us moving forward.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Coach, and thank you for watching the WB Mason Coaches Report.